Hey, it's Clayton Olson, and I'm here in Boulder, Colorado. There's a beautiful drizzle and some thunder that may be rumbling in the background momentarily. And I've got a concept in my mind that I want to share with you because I think that if folks just got this, it would change so much in terms of how you relate to uncertainty and situations where you could get hurt, such as dating, such as relationships, such as getting into a relationship, whether it's intimate or other, with somebody that you don't know and getting to know them. So here's where I'm coming from to set the stage. I often work with, a portion of the people that I work with have an anxious attachment style. And if you're not familiar with what anxious attachment means, I'll link to a different video below the description. But in a nutshell, it means that there's a preoccupation with the health of the relationship. There is almost an unwillingness to let go of control, of tracking the relationship out of fear of losing it, out of fear of being hurt. And this message is for folks that can identify as anxiously attached, and this message is also for you individuals out there who have had abusive relationships in the past. Maybe you've dated a narcissist or somebody who has been psychologically abusive or worse to you. And what I often see, and sometimes I see this in the comments on my YouTube channel, sometimes this comes up in conversations with clients when I'm working with them, but there's this real fear of getting hurt. And because maybe you've been hurt so badly in the past, and there is a protective wall that goes up. And it sometimes comes in the form of you can't trust men, you can't trust people, you can't trust life. If you take your eye off the ball or if you let your guard down, people are going to take advantage of you. And when I hear that, number one, I understand it. I get it. I understand why you wouldn't want to get hurt again, and I understand why there is a rationale to want to protect yourself. But here's where I think there's a distortion that occurs, is that oftentimes when people think they're protecting themselves, what they're actually doing is they're walling themselves off from being able to see what's happening in front of them clearly. So how people protect themselves typically is they look back in their past and they look for all of the red flags that happen in hindsight, and then they take those and they look forward in the future and they look for all the ways they're going to get hurt, all the ways that this person in front of them is not trustworthy, all the ways in which this situation is going to turn into the exact one in the past. And although that might appear like you're protecting yourself on the surface, what you're actually doing is you are looking at the world through your insecurities. You're looking at the world and you are projecting a wounded part of yourself out into the future. Now, if you're doing this, I want you to know that you're not alone. This is a very easy habit to fall into that I'd say the majority of people fall into who have been hurt. I mean, I've done it as well. In fact, what I'm about to open as an idea, as a different strategy for protection, is one that I am consistently working on regularly because it's not easy, but it's very simple. So here's what happens. Let's just take this a little bit further and look at the consequences of protecting yourself by guarding yourself and being closed off and being suspicious and looking at people through a suspicious lens and not trusting men, not trusting women. The cost of that is, number one, you will not be able to build a healthy relationship, because what will happen is it's almost like, imagine like a person who walks into a room with like a Doberman, and let's just say that the Doberman is neutral. If I walk into that room and I'm filled with fear of getting hurt, the likelihood of me getting bit by that dog are higher than if I walk in present and relaxed. So we can end up creating the situations that we don't want to be in by way of us seeing the situation that way and looking for all the ways it could that way and then reacting to it. So here's the alternative. The invitation is to see that your presence is actually the most powerful protection you could possibly create in your life. And what I mean by that is that when you can allow yourself to be fully present in the moment, you will actually see what's in front of you. You will see who's in front of you. And see, the old way of protecting oneself is the exact opposite of that. I'm not actually present. I'm living in the past, remembering all the ways that I got hurt, and I'm looking for clues that the present moment is like that. And that just creates more chances that the present will turn out like the past, because I'm creating it in my mind and then I'm playing the part in it. So to be fully present actually requires you to surrender. It requires you to suspend your beliefs that the same thing from the past is going to happen again. It actually requires you to trust that there can be something different happening right now in front of you that's different from the past. It takes a hell of a lot of courage to be present and to stay open and to not project your insecurities onto somebody else thinking that they're doing what someone else did to you. And you might say, well, Clayton, I don't want to get taken advantage of again, right? Or I don't want to get myself into the same situation again. Okay, great. Well, stop putting yourself into the same situation in your mind in the present moment. You've got to let go of that first. Because here's what happens. When you can be fully present with what's in front of you, you actually stop distorting what's in front of you. You actually can start to witness and observe, and you will actually see all of the red flags if they start to occur. And you will also see the opportunity in front of you. You will see the places where it's not like the past. This requires you to let go of control. This requires you also, and this is probably the scariest part, it's to open up to getting hurt again, right? Because here's the real shitty part about the old strategy of protection. It will almost guarantee that you don't get hurt again if you're continually seeing everybody as dangerous, because then you just won't invest in anything. And you're right, you won't get hurt again. But you'll be alone. And you may not be able to create what it is that your heart deeply wants in this lifetime. So, I've written this on my website, but to love is to risk. And it is a worthy risk. It's a worthy risk. It's a worthy journey to get ready for. And I want to give you some assurance that you can still protect yourself while moving forward into the uncertainty of dating and in the uncertainty of relationships. Just allow it to look like you being fully present rather than you being guarded and walled up. Because if you have a wall in front of you, you're not going to be able to see through it. So, my name's Clayton Olson. If this is your first time to my channel, I'd love to have you be a subscriber. I release content like this on a semi-regular basis. If you're interested in actually committing to work on this part of your life, I want to invite you into a one-on-one dialogue with me. You can click on the link in the description, shoot me an email, let me know what's going on. I work with people full-time. I've been doing it for almost 9 years now, and I help them create long-lasting, healthy relationships in their life. Not just romantic, but the relationship with themselves, the relationship with life, and the relationship with other. So if that feels like it aligns, I look forward to talking with you. Thanks for listening.